there, way back there. Alright, so I normally don't make videos like this, but I'm going to do it for you guys because I know most of you guys want to copy this setup, and most of you are not anywhere near me for me to do the work for you. So I'm getting all the links together finally, but I want to show you a few things that are very important when you do these builds to avoid having issues. First off, your O2 sensor has to be moved to an actual header pipe. So you can't put them in the downpipe. They have to be in an actual header pipe. Otherwise, you're going to get slow response codes for your bank 1 and bank 2 sensor 1. Okay. The other thing is for your oil return line. I don't know if you're even going to be able to see it here, but I'm posting the links to all of it. Wow, are we glowing? Oh no, that's just shiny pipe under there. I can't get it to focus. Okay, there we go. So right there, that's the return line from the turbo for oil. There's going to be an NPT bung on the bottom of the drain adapter for the turbo, and you've got to put a 90-degree angle in it, and then a straight 3-inch piece, and then another 90-degree angle there out here by the strut tower so that you can actually drain your oil out of the turbo. Otherwise, your oil drain points right at one of the turbo's exhaust runners, and it's not even doable. I was too lazy to actually tap my pipe for my breather lines for the inlet, so I just tapped the coupler. But that's how I ran the breather lines. Okay, now over here, this line, I blocked it. I put a stopper in it so that way there's no flow through this line, because otherwise you're going to be pushing boost through this line, and that line actually pressurizes the area around the bottom of the injectors in that case, and it could cause you all kinds of weird issues. So just put a cap there. The other thing is the 7M-GE stock injectors. Okay, I don't know if you'll even be able to see it here really, but there's the green top stock injectors. They're part number 23230, or no, 23250, and then dash 70080. I put a link to 6 injectors in the list here. Oh, there you go. Now you can see the Supra injector. That is a stock 89 to 92 Toyota Supra injector there. They flow at 316 cc's per minute. Okay. Let's see. The other thing, I guess, would probably be your boost pipe routing. You are going to have to cut a hole here. A nice good sized one if you want to do what I did and put a cool air intake to the turbo. We just got done spinning donuts in this car, and my turbo is not hot. My boost pipe is not hot. So one big thing that I think helped this car survive a lot was the fact that we ran the turbo, a cool air intake, and then on top of that, the hot pipe from the turbo right here under the radiator to where my blow-off valve is there. I put the blow-off valve in the hot side of the piping so that way it's releasing hot air instead of saturating the intercooler with heat and then releasing cool air, just so you can see your blow-off valve under the hood. It's actually louder outside the car anyway when you have it down there. So that's where my blow-off valve is at. It loops around. I have this giant intercooler in here. I know it's just hung up with this ghetto-ass plumber's tape, but guess what? The pipes are holding it pretty solid. That intercooler does not move, even if I kick the bottom of it. My bumper does, but not my intercooler. So after that, it comes out under there, wraps around underneath the headlight, and comes up through here. This piece of pipe here is actually chopped out of a cool air intake that was one of those knockoff shit brand eBay sold intakes. But the problem with it is when you put those on your stock engine, on your stock vehicle, it takes your fuel trims way off, and that's because it's a bigger housing than the stock MAF housing. So if you use this piece of the intake, you just cut it out and use it as a MAF housing, use it in your boost pipe right before the throttle body, then you're using those Supra injectors. That fixes your fuel trims. You'll never get a fuel trim code that way, and it measures your intake air temps accurately, and it allows you a lot more of a range for boost. All right, now the last thing, drill and tap right here with an 1/8 inch NPT fitting. That way you can make yourself a return line. Okay, your return line, mine's wrapped around all stupid like, but you'll set that regulator to 40 psi at idle with vacuum line hooked up. Okay, hot idle, obviously. You need it at hot idle. That way, when you rev it up or hit boost, it will actually raise your fuel pressure the way it's supposed to, and more vacuum will lower your fuel pressure, just like on any stock turbo car. They all have that set up, they just don't have the gauge. I ran my return line from the bottom of the regulator, ran it along underneath on the frame, like next to the frame, so it won't hit anything. And in the fuel pump area, I put another drill and tap with a 1/8 NPT fitting right into the top of the fuel pump assembly. When you do this, there's going to be a siphon valve you have to hook up, but I've got to do my fuel pump anyway because my fuel pump is getting weak finally, and it's giving me extended crank startups sometimes. So I'm going to make a whole separate video for you guys on the return line system and the important factors of it when I pull my fuel pump out here coming soon. I really can't overemphasize enough, make sure you have a wideband, and your wideband needs to be in your downpipe. Mine is way down there, and I don't know if you'll even be able to see it, but yep, there it is. Put your wideband in and make sure that you are not over boosting. The turbo setup that I've posted links to is the 50mm wastegate and the 60mm T4. On the automatics, they do like to boost creep, so you got to be careful. I only put about a 7-pound spring in mine, and it will creep up to 9 when it shifts. So that's something to watch out for, because if you get over 8 psi, you do have a chance that you might lean out a little bit. Remember, these computers don't know what to do with boost. That's why we're manipulating them mechanically in order to make them work properly. So I guess that's pretty much all of the important stuff right there. You don't have to worry about your radiator. Your stock radiator works fine, your stock fans work fine. I live in Phoenix. I abused this thing all the way through all of the summer heat with the AC on, and it never budged on temperature, not even once. So your stock cooling system is just fine. When you do this turbo setup, you will have to delete your ABS or relocate it. I chose to delete mine. You can delete it by cutting, rebending, and reflaring your stock brake lines and putting them on a T-fitting. I put one T-fitting over there, and I put one T-fitting way down here for the rear brake lines. I don't even think you'll be able to see it from top, but that's the easiest way to do it. If you don't do it, you won't have brakes. The other way to do it, some people like to relocate their ABS over in their range somewhere, but then you got no room for your piping. So do it as you see fit, but I recommend deleting ABS. Nobody that's ever even driven this car has thought there was anything wrong with the brakes. They work fine. Oh, one last thing. So your oil line, your oil feed line taps in right where, oh, come on, focus. There we are. Your oil feed line taps into the side of the block right there with a 1/8 NPT fitting, okay? You put a T on that fitting, and you put your stock oil pressure sender right back in it, and then you point the other side up for your oil feed line, as you can see there. That oil feed line comes right back up and loop-de-loop back to the turbo. So that should make it pretty easy. Don't use a restrictor plate on your turbo or anything. Make sure it always gets full oil flow, otherwise you probably won't have a turbo that lasts very long. This one has already gone 13,000 miles. It still has no shaft play. It spools like a beast, and it never even gives me a puff of smoke. Not even a puff. God, my car's ugly. Anyway, I don't think I have anything else to tell you that would be pertinent. The rest of it's pretty damn simple. I just wanted to make sure you guys all had all the real details. Yeah, that should be it. Oh, This was a PCV line, I believe. I capped it. I just stuck this stupid little stud in it just to cap it. If you don't, you're gonna blow boost into your valve covers. You're gonna have a bad time. Have fun, guys. Enjoy your China boost.